Lupita Nyong'o apparently put in like the performance of a lifetime there.
I don't even know who June Squibb is, and I don't know who Lupita Nyong'o is. I'm guessing she was just. I mean, 12 Years a Slave. When I look at that movie, when I saw the trailer for that movie, and even now I look at that movie, I think to myself, this is a movie with a bunch of people nobody knows who they are.
This was Lupita Nyong'o's first role out of college.
Right. Like, but I feel like everyone in the movie is like basically just, well, for lack of a better term, a nobody.
Yeah.
So for it to do so well, it's like.
Well, Brad Pitt was in it too.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
actually, Benedict Cumberbatch was in it too.
Oh, speaking of that guy, I just watched the third season of Sherlock. Really, really good.
It's really good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is his name Khan?
No, it's not.
Okay. Okay.
His name is Sherlock.
Oh, his name is
My
Sherlock.
name is Sherlock.
Yeah, something like that.
Million Sing.
Let's go down to directing.
Yeah. Okay. This is where we start getting into the Gravity Fun Time Hour. It's like directing. We got Alfonso for Gravity. I clearly he was going to win for that. Like that was not even a question for me. Like Nebraska, I'm sure was fine. American Hustle was interesting in the way it was directed. 12 Years a Slave was basically every other slave movie that ever existed as far as directing is concerned. But the only other one I think probably had a shot was Wolf of Wall Street because I thought the way that movie was directed was actually really cool. Because it was a very stylish movie. Like that movie oozed style. But none of them, like as much as I love Wolf of Wall Street's directing, it had nothing on Gravity's directing.
Right. I mean, Gravity really was like like you said, like when we were talking about video games and how you appreciate video games being advancing the art as a medium.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like Gravity did that with movies, so it's gonna get a lot of shit.
It did,
A lot of shit.
especially in like it basically swept all the tech categories like sound mixing and all that, and it deserved it because it really did advance movies technologically forward by a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean, just watching that movie, they didn't do a whole lot of like scene cuts in that movie as far as editing was concerned. They held like single shots for a long time.
Right.
Because the
I
entire
need to
movie.
buy that Blu-ray.
Oh my
Watch those
god!
extra features.
I'm gonna get that movie on Blu-ray.
If you buy it on Blu-ray, Mike, we can come over and watch it. I'm trying to see it again.
Yeah. 1080p. Let's do it.
Drink whenever Sandra Bullock is sad. Okay.
You just down everything. It's even in the beginning. She said
Yeah,
at the beginning of the
I
movie
know,
too,
right?
before shit goes down.
All right. Yeah, and also drink every time George Clooney says something that he would probably say in real life.
Which is
Drink
everything
every
he said.
time Sandra Bullock is in booty shorts.
Oh, girl. How old Sandra Bullock? Like, how bad should I
I think
feel?
mid-40s, right?
How bad should I feel that she totally was hot in those?
Totally. She's a MILF, I guess.
No shame.
No shame.
She's not the hottest MILF in Hollywood, though.
No, she's not. But she pulled off those booty shorts
beyond
really well.
So.
Anyways, let's go down. Writing adapted screenplay. So
MILF, you think? Helen Mirren?
I mean, for adapted screenplay, this was pretty much 12 Years a Slave or nothing.
So this was adapted from something that already. So 12 Years a Slave was.
12 Years a Slave was a slave novel that was written like back in the 1700s, something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. Personally, I probably would have gone with Wolf of Wall Street because that screenplay was really good.
I mean,
Any movie that's able to incorporate a 10-minute scene about hiring midgets for midget tossing is okay in my book.
I feel like we should watch 12 Years a Slave before like saying that. Oh, maybe it wasn't the best choice because it might have been.
Yeah, no, it might have been. I'm just saying, I really liked the screenplay for Wolf of Wall Street a lot. I thought the screenplay carried that movie.
Right. I'll have to see 12 Years a Slave and what's the one? Oh my God, Dallas Club. Last year when we were talking about oh my God, the Ben Affleck war movie.
Argo?
Argo, and
Zero Dark Thirty.
No. And Life of Pi.
Life of Pi, right.
What were those? Were those the Oscars of last year? Like, has it literally been a year, or is that?
It's been 1 year. Yeah,
that was last year. Yeah, because I actually watched those.
Was it, well, I ask, is it Oscars or was it an award ceremony later in the year? Because I remember that being a lot like more recent than.
No, it was the Oscars.
That was last year.
Jesus fucking Christ, where's time go?
Isn't it weird how when you're an adult, time goes by faster?
I know, right? Like, I just felt like it was a couple months ago. I'm like, oh, I should go watch Argo because it won an Academy Award.
It's on HBO Go now.
Yeah, I saw it. It was a really good movie.
I need to watch it in between watching Game of Thrones.
Okay, next up, writing original screenplay.
I thought, I mean, her won the Golden Globe, so I thought it was pretty clear that her was going to win here.
Yeah.
I thought American Hustle's screenplay was pretty good. I heard Nebraska's was very good. Dallas Buyers Club was good, but I don't think it was the screenplay that carried that movie as much as the acting did.
Right.
And I don't think anybody cared about Blue Jasmine, so her for me was the clear winner. But
her was definitely something that I felt like no ordinary person was going to write this movie. And
Spike Jonze is no ordinary person.
Yeah, like, it was definitely creative, it was unique, and it was special. I just didn't think it was perfect. So yeah, I'm sure it won that, because American Hustle looks stupid as fuck, in my opinion. But
I didn't think it was bad, I just didn't think it was nearly as good as a lot of people were giving it credit for.
yeah. Next up is the big one.
Animated feature film.
I'm awake now. What's up?
For me, next year, animated feature film is pretty clearly going to be the Lego Movie.
Easily.
I don't know what they're going to release that's going to top that. I really don't.
It'll
Monica
happen
in the U.S. Episode 3.
If I ever see the Monica movie playing at Tempe Marketplace Harkin Theaters like The Wind Rises was, I'm just going to be like, you know what? I'll buy 3 tickets right now. I'll just use them like, I don't even know.
I'll use them at other times whenever I feel like it.
But, okay. So I just saw Wind Rises today with Matt, who's probably asleep.
Yeah.
And our friend Chris.
I thought Wind Rises probably should have won that.
It should have won. That movie was really good, and I can see how people are saying that it was definitely like a masterpiece of Miyazaki work. And
not only was it a good Miyazaki movie, it was one of his best. It was deservedly his last one.
It was my favorite. Like, I've seen 5 Miyazaki movies, and I can't imagine the ones I haven't seen being better. Just as a plot, cannot possibly.
Well, what I really appreciate is the fact that Miyazaki was able to make this movie, and it was, I mean, it's grounded in reality. It's a historical movie.
Yeah.
But he was able to keep the magic in it that the other Miyazaki movies were able to have without sacrificing that because it's something based on a true story.
One thing I really noticed, because my favorite Miyazaki movie before this was Grave of the Fireflies, which is also a historical movie. And something that you notice in these movies is just Miyazaki's love for his country, love for his people, and love for the traditions and history. And you see those little subtleties in these movies. The way he casts voices in his movies. They don't sound like characters, they sound like people.
Right. I think that's important, and that's something that gets lost in a lot of other anime.
Oh, for sure. Most anime, like on TV at the very least, people try and sound like the character they're trying to be. They're not just trying to sound like a person. Did you watch Wind Rises in English or Japanese?
Both.
Okay. I saw it subbed. I wouldn't have been disappointed if I had seen it in English because it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt and
JGL. JGL played the main character.
And 3 other main are big names.
Really? Who are the others?
They're all 4 of the leading casts I saw were big. I don't remember. Like Emily. Shit. The Wind Rises. The Wind, not The Walking Dead. Piece of shit.
Those are the same thing, basically.
John Krasinski. You know who he is, right?
Yeah.
From The Office. Emily Blunt, for fuck's sake.
Blunt? Really?
And Martin Short. Those are the top 4.
Short.
The top 4. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, Martin Short.
That's a good cast.
All-star cast for a fucking anime movie. And so, when I went to the theater, I didn't know what I was going to be watching, and I wouldn't have been disappointed either way. I did catch the subs, and I kind of want to go see it in English.
I think it's worth it. The cast was really good.
I think I might wait for it to come out Blu-ray though, because the movie theater they put it on is like the size of my fucking TV times 2. And I'm just like, I don't want to pay $7 for that shit. I'd rather just get the Blu-ray. But no, I'm really glad I saw it in Japanese because his voice in Japanese was really, really good. And I'm not just because like it was a solid voice, just because it like God, hold on, I'm losing my thought here. Fuck. Shit. I'm just like brain derping here. What's the guy's name? Oh my god. Jiro. Thank you. Jiro, he is a man. Like, he's a man. And so his voice, they didn't want to choose. He looks kind of scrawny, but like he's a real like manly man.
Yeah.
Like he was a gentleman, a man, you know, and everything. And so I really liked how they chose a really like strong, confident voice for him, instead of something that would have fit his character
like
more.
book. Yeah.
But I love that movie. You could feel Miyazaki's love for his history and his people in that movie.
It's not even his love for like the history of Japan, although that definitely came across. It was his love for what he did for animation.
Yeah, I mean everything.
Just looking back on everything he's done, he was a real talent to anime, and I think that's why he's so well known even in the U.S. because his movies really are something special.
He's important because he brought anime to the forefront and made it not just fucking tentacles and tits.
Let me put it this way: there's only been one other Academy Award winning anime movie, and it was Spirited Away, which was another Miyazaki movie.
Right.
Which
he made Japanese anime acceptable in the U.S.
Here's the thing, though. Until I saw Grave of the Fireflies, which was the movie I've seen most recently before this, between like Arrietty, Spirited Away, frickin' Princess Mononoke, and what's the other one? Howl's Moving Castle. Like,
it's nice that Kiki's delivery service.
Well, I didn't see Kiki's. Like Kiki's and Totoro's, those are really like, those are geared toward children. But I just felt like that these movies were they just felt like Disney movies to me. And I didn't like that. And then I saw Grave of the Fireflies, because I heard it was a different type of movie, and all of a sudden, I was a fan of Miyazaki. Because I felt his passion. Like, I felt like the other side of his passion. Like, he's like, alright, this is not anything like my other works.
Right.
This is something completely, this is about history, this is about Japan. These are my people, and this is my history, this is my story, done through anime.
He has a lot of reverence for Japanese history, he does.
Yeah, and so when I heard about Wind Rises, being a very similar style and being his final work, I'm like, I have to see this movie, I have to. And I think it surpassed Grave of the Fireflies, and it's actually my favorite Miyazaki movie now.
Good. I think that's deserved. It's very good.
And I think it should have won animated feature, but it's Japanese, so they won't.
I mean, yeah.
Let's talk Frozen.
Frozen's good though. Frozen is a very good movie.
Frozen is good, but the problem with Frozen that it's overrated is all shit.
I think the soundtrack carries that movie farther than the movie itself does.
Yeah, because going to see that movie, from all of you, only thing I heard about Frozen is 3 words: "Let it go."
Let go.
And I not heard anything about the character, the plot, the writing, anything. Because that's the only thing people talk about is the song. It's an outstanding song. It's a fucking incredible song. But that's really all that that movie has going for it, honestly.
I don't know. I'm fine with the characters. I think the plot twist in Frozen was very cool.
But I think Tangled's better than Frozen in almost every respect except the soundtrack.
I need to see Tangled.
Tangled, I agree with you, but I really like Tangled.
It's like, tell me, who's the main character of Frozen?
The main character of Frozen, it's both Elsa and Anna. I'd argue Elsa.
I wouldn't say Elsa is the main character at all.
No?
I'd say it's Anna and Kristoff.
Anna and Kristoff, you could argue. By the way, I'm going to be cosplaying Kristoff for Fanime. So.
But on all the promotional material, all you see is Elsa, 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 Elsa.
Well, that's because they got a big name to play Elsa in Idina Menzel.
And a big voice, too.
And a big... Yeah, well, Idina Menzel's voice is gorgeous.
Yeah, but it's just that.
By the way, if we're talking about the Oscars, can we just question for a second what the fuck John Travolta said Idina Menzel's name was?
I did not see that clip. I don't want to see it because I was going to be awkward about it.
I'm actually just going to... Let's play it right now on stream.
Fine, let me hear it.
It's time for the interactive Critical D. What the fuck was John Travolta saying? Edition.
Our weekly segment.
Okay.
Weekly segment. What is John Travolta saying?
I type in John space TR, and the first one is John Travolta Idina Menzel. Alright, let's see this.
Blast that shit.
I guess... Is it Conan highlight? I guess that's fine. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so watch the stream for it.
One thing everyone's been talking about today is, and I mentioned it up front, top of the show, John Travolta's embarrassing mistake at last night's Oscars.
Lagged.
He was supposed to introduce singer Idina Menzel.
Well, I can't hear that. I don't know about the stream.
But here's what he said instead.
Please welcome the wickedly talented, one and only...
Wow, if you do type in John...
Oh my god.
So, I don't know if I'm getting up right now. What did he say exactly?
That's right. Instead of saying Idina Menzel, he said Adele Dazeem.
Adele Dazeem?
I'm pretty sure he said...
You must find the spice with Dazeem.
Idina Dazeem.
The Dazeem, the spice must flow.
And like he's so serious about it, like
he
didn't even stop halfway. Like I mean, Idina Menzel. Like he just went with it.
He just fucking went for it.
He sounded like me trying to pronounce like long ass Japanese anime names.
Oh my god.
The wickedly talented Idina Menzel.
She is my favorite favorite villain from 24.
Idina Menzel.
Jack Bauer. Jack Bauer shot that one.
I was
Where's the Dazeem?
I was in shock for a second. I'm like,
give me a name.
Did he actually? Was that supposed to be Idina Menzel?
I think I saw her in Who's a Slave. Idina Menzel.
Idina Menzel was the main character in 12 Years a Slave.
Oh god, that's too good. That is too good. I hadn't seen.
Wasn't that the name of like the courier of Osama bin Laden?
Idina Menzel.
I mean, it would have been like slightly less embarrassing if he just stood there for a moment and like the awesomely talented looks at his note card.
Chick from Frozen. Yay.
Idina Menzel. Yeah, chick. That girl who played Elsa from Frozen, or Anna from, Elsa from Frozen.
Would have been better than Idina Menzel.
Anything would have been better than that terrorist of a name. No offense to anyone, his name is like Idina Menzel.
Idina Menzel.
Oh my god.
That's my favorite Moroccan folk song.
But here's I liked Frozen. Like overall,
I'm not gonna talk shit about Frozen. It was a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but problem is that everybody I know talks it up a lot.
Yeah. No, for sure. It is a little overhyped.
I felt like they heard that song like, man, this song is awesome, which it is. Then they kind of transferred to, hey, Frozen's awesome. Well, like, no. It's just they like that song a lot that you just made it.
I like the song. I like the other song, with the exception of one song on that soundtrack. I was not a fan of the one that the Gnomes sang. I thought that was dumb.
The one, the Who song?
The Gnomes.
Fixer Upper.
Oh, Fixer Upper, yeah. That's alright.
I thought that movie was going along at a good pace, and that song just brought it to a screeching halt.
The problem with Frozen is that the best moment happens like half an hour in.
But I mean, I did really like Do You Want to Build a Snowman? I really liked
The First Time in Forever?
First Time in Forever. I thought both of those
Which felt a lot like I Can Go Distance. Sound like a lot like that song.
And I mean, I even really like The one that she and the asshole sang. Love is an Open Door. I like Love is an Open Door a lot too. The soundtrack is a very good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Better than Tangled.
I'm
It is better.
gonna watch that movie in Japanese because the Japanese version of Let It Go is awesome. But no, my only problem with Frozen is near the end when she like learns to control her powers or whatever when they're standing on the Frost Lake or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, how? How? The power of love, whatever. But how?
It's the power of love.
Like I was just sitting there like that was so Deus Ex Machina. I don't even know like how many X's.
I kind of don't like how she sings about how she's gonna let go, and she never really does. She just kind of never lets go until like last
She
5 minutes.
does for a little while, and then Anna comes back.
Also, okay, so she makes this giant ass castle. She's free now. What now? What does she do with her time?
Build more castles.
Like they never really go back to what she actually does with all her freedomness now.
Fapping.
Making snow, fapping it,
Just fapping.
fapping it. Yeah.
Ice.
And then last
Beep.
castle.
I'm gonna use these ice beeps and fap.
Dude, that'd be
That's not
cold.
safe.
Fuck.
Also, why does it make a snowman? Why does it have magic powers?
Because her magic made the snowman. It's the same way that the fucking snow golem she made was able to be animable. And she made the snowman because she was used to making the snowman from when they were a kid. I can answer that question.
Okay.
Alright, so...
I'd love to see what she actually does all in the castle by herself now, besides fapping. That would have been nice. Given more fucking character depth.
Ice TV, ice sofa, ice recliner, ice minibar, ice
jacuzzi?
vodka, ice jacuzzi.
Ice Jacuzzi? I like it. I mean, and then the other animated movies, The Croods, nobody cares about. Despicable Me 2 was alright.
Funny thing. One of our new managers at my new job, her brother wrote Despicable Me.
Really?
So the first day was on Monday. She was at the Oscars on Sunday night.
Really?
And she took a red eye back, yeah. And she said she was bitter that Despicable Me did not win.
Did she really think it would, though? Come on.
I think she convinced herself that it would.
Yeah, that can happen sometimes.
Like, Despicable Me 2 was fine, but it wasn't Academy Award winning.
No. She's like saying how she hates Frozen and Let It Go, and I just want to say, lady, I don't give a fuck what song you heard on Despicable Me 2. That song was not better than Frozen. Not better than Let It Go.
That said, let's move down. I'm assuming none of us saw any of the documentaries, so let's go down to
Yo, man, Dirty Wars. Okay, whatever.
Best Original Song. Happy was nominated. I really like Happy. I think that song is fucking wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And the Moon Song. I thought the Moon Song is really good too.
Which one was that again?
It wasn't Her. It was the song that Samantha writes when they're in the cabin.
Oh, is that the one that like plays over when they're like on the beach and everything too?
Probably. But I know the specific part that song, like what the lyrics say, is in the cabin.
Wait, Ordinary Love in Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom, done by U2, lyrics by Bono?
Yep.
Bono?
Yeah, Bono's the lead singer of U2, dude.
Really?
Yes!
What the fuck? Where you fucking been,
my
Ruben?
God, well, I don't really listen to them. I thought the lead singer... Okay, wow. I didn't know U2 was that person. Okay. Yeah, whatever. Let It Go, obviously, won.
Incredible. Incredible
Yeah,
song.
I mean, that was clearly the answer was Let It Go. I mean,
Fucking, I spend money
as
on
much
that
as I
song.
love Happy and as much as I love the Moon Song, Let It Go was the clear winner. There was no question.
Why does
Let It Go is incredible.
Why does it credit Kristen Anderson, Lopez, and Robert Lopez?
Let It Go, sung by Editha Dazim.
And Let It Go is almost as good as Everything Is Awesome.
Wait, is Let It Go... Did Idina Menzel cover that for the movie? That was written in the movie, right?
Yeah, no, it was in the movie,
Then
and
what
it
the
was
hell-
done by Idina Menzel in the movie.
Yeah.
It was written by Kirsten Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez.
Okay. Makes sense. Let's move on. Music original score, aka the music that plays during the movie.
Yep.
Not
So,
necessarily.
I mean, I liked her score. Saving Mr. Banks' score is pretty good. I did not care for the Book Thief score. I don't know how that got on there. But Gravity, like, the score carried that movie in Gravity.
It was really, really good. I mean, half that movie is music.
Exactly. And I think that's why it won.
Yeah.
Because you can't have a movie like that and not have the music be, like, 60% of the experience.
Right. Dude, remember back when we saw the first trailers of Gravity peek its little
It
head
was
open?
so funny.
Like, yeah. And you just
I
see
was
them...
thinking about that while I was watching Gravity, too. Like, that movie is really good. And I was sitting there like, that first trailer was so funny. It's not funny anymore.
Yeah. Like, it just showed, like... What did it show? It just showed someone, like, floating in space.
I remember
right?
what made us just fucking lose it was just that one picture of the character just, like, floating away in space, like, spinning around, like bye-bye, see you later.
Yeah. And then there's just the overlay, Gravity.
Gravity.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, to think that movie, that trailer itself led to something so much bigger. Alright, visual effects, Gravity, because,
I mean, Gravity, well, let's be fair, Gravity's going to win that. I did really like Smaug in Desolation of Smaug, but Gravity.
Yeah. I mean, it's one dragon versus everything.
Everything in Gravity.
Yeah. Cinematography,
Gravity.
Because that could not have been easy. Sandra Bullock did an interview, I think it was either Jon Stewart or Colbert, I think it was Jon Stewart, and she mentioned how they spent a lot of time in, like, free fall, like, during shooting and stuff. Like, it was really complicated how they shot that.
But I think, like, the really big thing about the cinematography was the fact that like, you look at, when you watch that movie, I mentioned this earlier, but it's just a lot of really long shots where the camera is moving around a specific location in between characters and stuff. It's not a whole lot of editing.
Right.
Like, there's no cuts. It's just these really sweeping, moving shots that move on for, like, 10 to 20 minutes at a time. And I think that's the cinematography, and that's really cool.
Yeah. What is Inside Llewyn Davis?
It was about a folk singer in Greenwich Village. Apparently, it was pretty good, but
Costume design, Great Gatsby, obviously. Just please give that movie some recognition. I'm glad it won something. I love that movie.
I did too. I'm really sad that it didn't get any recognition anywhere else, but it did. Costume design in the movie is really good.
Makeup and hairstyling, Dallas Buyers Club, which I'm guessing if there's a skinny motherfucker playing transvestite, that could not have been easy.
Hell no. But, I mean, let's look at the other nominees. Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa and The Lone Ranger. One of these movies is not like the other.
Well, what's his face that played the grandpa?
Johnny Knoxville?
Yeah. They made him look like a grandpa.
They did.
That was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
And then Lone Ranger, I mean, Johnny Depp had to be with makeup the entire time. I don't know. Film editing, Gravity, even though there was very little editing apparently.
There was, but the editing that they did do was very, very tasteful and very good.
Well, I guess that the entire movie, okay, if your entire movie is essentially like CGI,
yeah,
that means your entire movie is one giant edit.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, more or less. So I guess that's...
Well, the editing they did when George Clooney came back, that was kind of cool.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Documentary, short subject, we don't even know.
Yeah.
Foreign film.
Don't know.
All I know is the Cove was fucked up.
The Cove?
That's documentary, asshole.
The Cove was fucked up. Ever heard about the Cove? You should watch the Cove.
That was fucked up.
I am into dolphin activism, and I think you should watch the Cove. It's really eye-opener, bro. Open my eyes. Fuck Japan.
Short film, live action. I don't think we saw any of those.
Quick
note about short film animated. Possessions was actually an anime. It was about a samurai.
Really?
Was it Papers,
Yeah,
Please?
it was.
Paperman?
No. But
Oh,
it was about like a samurai. It was an anime type thing.
Was he
So,
throwing a paper plane to his love
should
across
probably
the office?
check that out at some point.
Let's see. Shuhei Morita's Possessions Tsukuma shortlisted for Oscar nomination. Blah 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 blah. Possessions is part of Katsuhiro Otomo's short piece omnibus project that supports top creators. Huh. That's cool, actually.
Yeah. It didn't win. It missed some fucking French thing that I don't care about won, but it's kind of cool that another anime that wasn't Miyazaki got nominated this year too, even though it was in short animated film.
What Mr. Hublot? Okay, yeah, I don't know what any of that stuff is. Production design, great. Gatsby. What does production design even mean?
Production design means like it's the stage when you're designing what the sets are going to look like, so you draw them out, and then that's what the sets are going to look like when you make them. So it's basically set design.
Oh, okay.
And The Great Gatsby was incredible in that.
Yeah, I mean, that house did exist. His house.
I mean, not just the house, but like you look at the scenes that they had of Manhattan when they were there, and all the different like rooms and stuff.
Yeah, like
or Daisy's house not Gatsby. The guy that Tobey Maguire played, his house when Gatsby brings all those flowers in and they walk in, that's production design. Mm-hmm. It was incredible.
I mean, I guess that movie did kind of traverse a large area.
That's kind of the Baz's thing, is production design now.
Her was pretty much localized in his office and his home, and then when they went out to like the cabin and stuff.
I think the production design of her was very good, but I think The Great Gatsby did it better.
And then Gravity was just like CG, the production design. That was sick CG design.
I don't think, as far as production design is concerned, I don't think Gravity had too much going for it, because it was literally just space.
Yeah. Next up, sound editing, Gravity, because sound. Lots of sound.
I mean, The Hobbit was kind of cool in some regards too, but Gravity was just calm.
Right. Sound mixing, Gravity, because I don't even know what the difference between the sound editing and mixing are.
Sound mixing means it's like the way that you mix sound effects with speech, with music, so you bring them all together. That's sound mixing.
That sounds like sound editing.
Sound editing is the way that you put like the different edits together, so that, like, you make one thing sound. It's different. Trust me. It's hard to explain, but they're different.
And that's the end of the list. So
should I go wake Matt up now? Because Matt's on the couch now.
I guess we just gotta do the From NeoGaf With Love.
Yeah, I got some stuff.
Go ahead.
Let's finish it off with some with NeoGaf.
Go get Matt. Hold up.
But anyways, Brian, yeah, I mean, overall, only a few real disappointments in the Oscars.
Everything was pretty standard, I thought.
Yeah.
For the most part. I mean, best animated movie is pretty
what do you want? We're doing NeoGaf now.
Oh, God.
Look it up.
Oh, God, all of a sudden, Matt's voice is inside the mic. Yeah.
Everything, like, I pretty much called almost everything. I mean, I wanted some of the other stuff to win, but I knew it wouldn't, so...
I couldn't find gold, but I found a lot of coal. Alright.
I thought you found one gold.
Not a lot of gold. Mostly coal.
A gold.
Right. So, from NeoGaf With Love, you guys. Been reading some NeoGaf tweets. Found some really good tweets for you guys. You to look at. Let's start off first. Get some real shit here, you guys. First off, it's from a Russian NeoGaffer to a Ukrainian NeoGaffer whose family has been drafted.
Good.
He says, and I quote, "I'm sorry, but I think you're being overdramatic."
Wow. Okay. So, good place to start. Let's start with some current events over in Russia right now.
Ukraine.
Fucking taking Ukraine. Just saying, this is ours now. We're taking this.
Yeah, let me just move this right quick. You move this to
Then
another.
Then this Russian guy is just like, I think you're being over dramatic about your family getting drafted because we just decided you're part of us now.
All right. Hold up.
That's... Oh, God.
Okay. Next one is regards to the console wars, because those are always fun.
Right.
The main reason the PS4 is slightly ahead now is that a lot of people believe the misinformation about the PS4 being more powerful. I'm sure price is a factor for some, but you get what you pay for. The huge second week drop-off on PS4 sales in Japan was unexpected, but I guess they realized there was no point in buying a console with no game worth playing. There are going to be a lot of disappointed and delusioned Sony fans after Microsoft brings out the big guns at E3 maybe earlier. I think any of you who are honest are already starting to feel some doubts about the PS4 power. You might as well get used to it. It's going to get much worse. Don't feel too bad, though. You'll be able to buy an Xbox One to play the best games. 2 facts you can't spin. 1. Xbox One fully supports DX12. 2, and DX12 support requires hardware capabilities that older 7000 series cards that you incorrectly believe Xbox One is based on do not have. The big power band of Xbox One has not been shown because the games that have been released have been created using SDKs that weren't finished. The DX12 SDKs will be out to all developers soon. This can be a great year for gamers.
So this guy likes the Xbox One a lot.
Clearly. Yeah. I mean, I talk a lot of shit about people that are Sony fuckers because they seem to be more prevalent on the internet than the Xbox One people. But the Xbox One people are just as bad. There just aren't as many of them.
I want to say I'm surprised that this console wars bullshit still happens, but I'm not.
I'm not surprised at all. I want it to be like 2 or 3 years from now when people just buy games for whatever console. Because you don't hear about so many people talking about console wars between the 360 and the PS3 anymore.
No.
Well, that's because that generation's done.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
This
even up to like 2 years ago, they weren't really talking about it.
Well, it's also because it was an age of multi-platform. Like there were a lot of games you could buy where it didn't matter what console it came out on. Like you were going to be able to get it regardless of what you had, unless you were unfortunate enough to just have a Wii. But you know,
well, I mean that's still the case now. All the games that are coming out for PS4 are coming out for Xbox One, with like a few exceptions.
Pretty much, and also PC is still going strong.
Mike, who's this guy like in the picture of the Twitter on the left side?
I have no idea, honestly. I literally have no idea who that is or what that is, what he's referring to.
But yeah, anyways, back to the topic. Console wars, dumb. Like it's dumb that we need to have the console wars because there are so many consoles, which I think is dumb in the first place. I wish there was just one console, but you know, ideal world, whatever. I have to buy fucking 2 consoles and find a third, like find someone to lend me the third, just so I can play the few games that I do want to play.
See, I respect the fact that there's multiple consoles because it inspires competition.
Ooh,
and that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Ooh, yeah.
Our holy Lord and Savior,
yeah.
All right, before we move on, can we talk about the Ouya for a second? Because they literally, the Ouya just gave their SDK out to other companies, so there's literally no reason to own an Ouya anymore. There's actually no reason to own an Ouya.
The Ouya is dead, and long live the Ouya.
Long live.
Now, we all know, as I know, that when fanboys get tired of talking shit about various game companies, they turn their eye to indie games. So there's a post on NeoGaf of, what if the best $15 game that comes out in a year happens to be the best game of that year?
Did that happen 2 years ago?
It did happen 2 years ago. What use is there is arbitrarily dividing games up by their price or by their budget? The response by one person was, the day that happens is the day the hipsters officially take over. Indie games are side games. They are good ones. They're good ones, but that's because they steal your nostalgic memories. Let's just retro graphics and things you already played.
I'm sorry. There was something nostalgic about Journey? I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Walking Dead? Man, I missed that game back in the 90s.
Right? God, back when I was playing like Wolfenstein, I'm just like, man, Walking Dead is just like this.
Papers, Please? Man, I remember that game back in the SNES.
See, okay.
Stanley Parable, man. Remember that game back on the Atari?
Fuck yeah, man.
I can kind of understand where he's coming from because I feel like a lot of indie developers rely on retro graphics to get to what they're trying to do. But at the same time, that's a little too inclusive, I think.
A little.
I mean, like, even Papers, Please, they did do a very low graphical thing, and it was something that I think, I wouldn't call it retro, but it was retro-esque. They were going for, like, a 16-bit type thing.
Like, I just feel like that kind of comments from someone who's, like, afraid to play indie games. Like, oh god.
They're afraid to take over. Which they won't.
Like, if I support this, oh my god, it might actually become a real thing. That would suck.
I mean, I like indie games. I think they're really cool for the industry.
They're great.
Wasn't Portal originally an indie game?
What?
Wasn't Portal originally an indie game?
Yes, it was.
Yes,
like,
it was.
And that's, like, probably one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. Like, that's the Portal series. Like, bullshit.
I would not want to see the indie game industry replace AAA games, and I think that's what a lot of people are afraid of. It shouldn't happen. It won't. Yeah, you're right.
I think it's a good segue, Brian. Speaking of that, another post said, "I take a shitty AAA game over an indie game 99.9% of the time. Somebody don't give a shit about non-games. The 0.01% is for Hotline Miami."
Did he just call every indie game a non-game?
Yes.
Okay, not every indie game is fucking Gone Home, dude.
Brian, just really quickly, what are your saying about, like, indie games taking over AAA games? If an indie game developer makes games so well that they stop becoming indie, then they start becoming a AAA game company.
Not necessarily. I think
not all
AAA
the time.
games preclude a AAA budget, like having a bigger budget.
But I was saying, like
the definition of indie is changing, though, I think. Because an indie game, I think, now, by definition, refers to any game that's just a smaller-made game with a
low
smaller
budget.
Yeah,
It can still be published by a big company and be an indie game.
Hell, like,
if
Bastion was an indie game published by WB Games.
Exactly.
Right, and if an indie quote-unquote game makes enough money to have a large budget for their next quote-unquote indie game, then that quote-unquote indie game is closer to a AAA game at that point.
Exactly.
It is. I mean, you could argue that with Transistor, the upcoming game from
Supergiant Games?
From Supergiant. I don't think that the budget that they're using for Transistor is that big, though.
It's bigger.
It's bigger, but it's nowhere near AAA size.
Shit,
like
no.
several $100 million or something like that. No, not like $50 million.
No. And now we're here to the Wii U, where one person said, "There is nothing short-sighted about the Wii U." Let me stop you there, sir. Well, there's a touchpad, and the horrible online interface, and the amount 12 hours of updates you need to do when you get the console, and like a games at all. So, but whatever. It has every feature a gamer needs and then some. Let that sink in for a bit. It has every feature a gamer needs and then some. Where's the then some part?
It does not have a very good online. No.
Does it have 1080p?
Does it have what?
1080p?
It does HD, yeah.
720p.
Well, I mean, HD.
Yeah, it does HD. It's not like Xbox One, PS4, natural 1080p. But
well, the Wii, the regular Wii didn't do HD.
It did 720, but it was barely used.
Wait, the Wii? I thought it said 480p in
I'm
that.
pretty sure
it
was stuck at 480.
Yeah, I thought it was 480.
It was 480 upscaled to 720.
No, well. Okay, the fact you conflate... Is conflate a word? C-O-N-F-L-A? Okay.
Yeah,
The fact you conflate the 2011 ports with Nintendo's own brands, own efforts, is absurd. That was all third-party stuff that turned out to be a bad disaster and cost them. It's nobody's fault but their own. America's worst company, EA, released only Mass Effect 3 on Wii U and then went around and released a trilogy on PS4 just a few months later. It was an embarrassment that they deserved Mass Effect 3U to flop as hard as it did. As it stands, the Wii U is the only next-gen console experience right now. There's no denying it. Okay.
Wait.
All right, that last
what?
sentence.
What just happened?
As it stands, the Wii U is the
see...
only next-gen console experience right now, and there's no...
I'm sorry, I missed the segue, but from Mass Effect 3U to the Wii U being the best console.
It seems like he's saying that it was karma that EA released a Mass Effect trilogy on PS3 but not on Wii U. Because Mass Effect 3 on Wii U flopped, as it,
Right.
Because everybody who want to play that game played it already.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay.
PS4 and Xbox One, for all the technical prowess, have no decent games to show for it. Well, he's got one. Titanfall will be the only worthwhile game to come out to play this year. Well, on a non-Nintendo system. Can't even stop you there.
Ooh.
Titanfall can be the only worthwhile game to come out this year on a non-Nintendo system. What's come out on the Wii U so far?
Hold on. First of all, I mean, just at least one example I can think of off the top of my head is Dark Souls 2. I know you don't agree with that, but it is a great game that will not be out on the Wii U. It is coming on PS4.
What about Watch Dogs? What about Destiny? About Infamous?
I'm still iffy on Infamous myself.
What they're saying is the Wii U is the only good console.
No, that's not even close
That's a
to
bullshit
right.
lie. That's a bullshit lie.
Flat out wrong.
Okay, Brian, what's the highest rated game that's come out on the Wii U according to the source
Metacritic?
you trust the most? Which is probably not IGN.
Highest rated game that come out for the Wii U in general is just Super Mario 3D Land.
I'm gonna look my right now.
I don't know what
3D
source
World.
you trust the most. It's probably not IGN.
I trust
Probably not
Metacritic.
Metacritic.
Super Mario 3D World has a 93 rating on Metacritic.
Yeah. No, Super Mario 3D World is the highest rated game. I wouldn't say IGN. What do I trust with the reviews? I would say Polygon, but I don't even trust Polygon that much. Polygon has a couple of good
Also,
reviews.
Rayman
but
Legends, which is also really good. Which also came out before already.
Which
Yeah,
one?
it's that's multi-platform.
Which one?
Rayman Legends.
Oh. The one you bought and you were like, this game doesn't age well?
No, I don't think that said that.
Those are you? Fuck, okay.
I like Polygon. I don't know about their reviews, but I think Polygon is by far the best games journalism outlet out there. They got the best feature stories easily out of any. They had a really interesting story the other day about a developer and his process getting a game out there.
Okay, yeah, so Xbox One, Rayman Legends 9.5. I'm trying to figure out if you can review. How do you... Can you sort by rating? Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, Rayman Legends 9.5, FIFA 14 coming in second with 9.1. So let's look at the Wii U. I'm doing IGN because I don't know any better.
Sure.
Wow, the Wii U is harder to. Okay, all Wii U games. Okay. What? Wait, what? This isn't right. These are all fucking Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword?
That's Wii.
Wii.
Super Mario Galaxy 2?
That's Wii.
Chrono Trigger?
A lot of
Not
consoles.
even on Wii.
Not even on. What the fuck are you reading?
Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time?
And 64.
N64.
Oh, they could
Right.
be talking about Virtual Console titles.
This is terrible.
that could
How
be it.
how do I search for only Wii U games? Okay, I gotta find the first Wii U game that actually is just a Wii U game. 3D World 9.6 on
Yeah, 3D World.
IGN. After that, it's oh boy.
Rayman. And
Rough.
Wind Waker. And Pikmin.
Wind Waker is not Wii U, it's GameCube.
It is Wii U. As well.
No, they released the re-release of Wind Waker.
Alright, well, I don't know. I mean, as of right now,
Pikmin
Xbox
3
One
probably.
and PS4 can't make a strong case, but I think that, I mean, we're seeing the sales figures of Wii U. We're seeing how none of us can think of a second person who goddamn owns the thing.
Well, let's put it this way: the PS4 and the Xbox One have been out for an eighth of as long as the Wii U, and have already passed it in sales.
Yeah, by a pretty decent margin too, right?
Yeah, by a lot.
Popular
That's because Nintendo has gotten shitty in the console business.
IGN and needs to get their shit together. Popular Wii U games coming soon: Metroid Fusion, Mario Kart 8, Super Mario Advance 2, Yoshi's Island. Oh, God.
Great.
Anyways, go on to the next NeoGaf.
Here's a quote out of context. I just want you guys to think about this. I would rather the game not come out than come out on an inferior platform.
Then come out on a what?
On an inferior platform.
No, come on.
Now
Don't
think
do that.
Bayonetta 2 right now.
Don't do that, guy.
Yeah,
Come on.
I'm thinking Bayonetta 2.
Yeah, me too.
The thing is, because it actually is getting released, I have to go through the trouble of finding a way of borrowing the Wii U. But I am glad
at
the
the
game's
same
coming
time,
out.
would you rather it just never exist?
No,
You
because
know
I've
what?
been waiting for this game for 5 years.
I kind of would.
Oh, come on. Don't be that guy.
The fact that you're teasing me with the game is almost worse than not having the game at all.
I've been sort of waiting for this game for 5 years, so...
As a vibe, I'm not buying a Wii U for it, so I'm never
Yeah,
gonna play it.
Screw that. Like I said, Wii U has to be $50. I'm back for $50. That's my limit.
I know a guy who might sell you a Wii U for $50. Meet him at 3 a.m. around the corner on the exit of the 101 and Priest, and from there
I like
just
how
go
you-
around behind the little video store and say the magic words of "You got the stuff.
Get this stuff.
I have it for you."
I like how you think Priest and the 101 intersect, but it's okay. We won't talk about that. Alright, move on to someone who doesn't hate games on inferior consoles.
Oh, that's gonna be hard. Hold up, because there's another one here that says, yes, and it's one of the primary reasons I would not invest in Nintendo console. Their first party is almost completely dominated by kids games. Even their console interfaces are kiddie. I certainly don't consider Zelda or Metroid mature either. Too immature, one-sided, and frankly embarrassing to own as a person in their 30s. Like getting caught playing with a toy made for kids.
Wow.
Come on.
This guy...
I think this guy needs to rethink what mature means. He's probably the kind of guy that thinks mature is just like fucking Call of Duty, bang, bang, blood, guts everywhere. You can explore mature themes and maturity without just resorting to massive amounts of violence. I think Metroid is able to do that very well.
And Zelda.
And Zelda.
My nigga. Back to indie bashing. What if a game is garbage and pretentious? They have a tag for that. It's called indie. I don't want developers to sacrifice 1080p for shitty effects. 720p is an abomination.
Wow, okay. So, I wonder if this guy likes Titanfall. Because let's talk about games that are 576p?
792.
790... well, the
No, 796, I think it was.
The beta was... No, wasn't the beta like 5 something?
Oh, no.
What? Hold on.
I think the resolution on Xbox One is 900p, though.
I think they want to upscale to that.
No, I think that's native 900p and they're upscaling to 1080.
Oh, it was 792p. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways. I don't know. Are they upscaling that game, or are they actually doing a
Possibly.
native resolution of 1080p?
But it doesn't fucking matter. A game
doesn't.
could be 1080p and bad. It doesn't fucking matter. As long as the game's good, it doesn't fucking matter.
We want to talk about indie games again. Indie games go for like 16-bit and they're great. It's not all about graphics.
Yeah, papers, please.
For some games, it helps. But,
Sometimes.
I can't play an 8-bit basketball game. I'm sorry. I can't do it.
Well, yeah.
But in regards to game studios, this guy says they should fire more. Studios are way too big nowadays. Also, I never understand why people feel sorry or bad for others getting fired. It's just so weird.
Huh. Yeah, I don't feel sorry for people whose lives are probably getting ruined. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, game developing, I guess, in general, is just a risky business. Because your game's successful,
You're
you get to keep your
working
job.
on a project for 3 years of your life, and most people like it.
And it's like, it crashes, you're done. You go find a job at another game company that will probably not take you because your product was bad. I don't know. But, I mean, the game's successful, congratulations. Work on the next console or the next title, it better be good too.
Yeah.
I think it's a very, very stressful career, and it's not something that I really I would go into.
There's also not a whole lot of job stability anymore.
Fuck no. Fuck
Because,
no.
I mean, Disney Interactive just laid off like 700 people, and Irrational just laid off like 75.
And then I think the Thief developer laid off a lot of people too.
What?
Who made Thief?
You mean Square Enix?
No,
Eidos. Eidos.
Let me see. I think I saw a Thief developer.
It's Eidos. Yeah.
Oh, Square Enix made Thief 4.
Yeah, big layoffs.
Square Enix bought Eidos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they let 27 people go 2 weeks after the game came out. So.
Well, the reviews on that game were
not
pretty funny.
Yeah, that weren't great.
What was that? What was that review site that had the that funny review? It was EGM. Hold on.
They're still around.
Was it EGM? Let me see. Oh my god! What the hell is this? What am I clicking? Do I want that? I'm gonna open this on a different tab. Yeah, this was funny. This was. God damn it, Matt! You know what? You know what? Fuck Matt. You know what? No. Don't even. Mike, just done. He's done. He's gone. Gone from the call.
Okay.
All right.
Another piece I have here. Women aren't being portrayed in video games because they just don't kill, shoot, or act in an aggressive manner needed to sell core gamers. Like in Titanfall, it wouldn't be realistic to see a woman fight against mechs.
Wow. There are women characters in Titanfall!
I know.
There are women characters in Titanfall!
But it's not realistic, Brian, because women don't fight against mechs.
His entire argument hinges on the fact that there aren't women character in Titanfall, but there are women character in Titanfall.
Right.
The fuck?
Right. This one is someone who just hates games. Oh boy, it's entry number 5 in game series whatever. Video games are so unbelievably boring. Get out while you still can, people.
Wow, why are you on a video game anything?
Because his life is sad, and he must feel the need to be loved because no one's ever hugged him.
He needs to make sure everyone else shares his viewpoint so he feels validated.
Now, I want your guys' opinion on this.
Okay.
Around here, niche games are obviously more popular than the masses. That could be it on NeoGaf, for all I know. I was just wondering what niche developers would people consider overrated. I would personally go with Atlas. I've only ever enjoyed Catherine and Persona 4 from them. The rest of their games I have a hard time connecting to. So I can see that. Shin Megami Tensei, don't really care for it.
Well, Atlas has made a lot of games, and they're all unbeatable. They made the Snowboard Kids, right, or whatever.
Did they?
Right? So, or was it SSX Tricky?
For what?
Atlas.
SSX was EA.
Yeah, Atlas was EA Big, or not Atlas. EA Big was SSX Tricky.
Was it SSX?
No, Atlas had nothing to do with SSX.
Oh.
Snowboard Kids, Atlas was involved in.
Okay, Matt, are you awake?
Yeah. Well, no, I kicked him from the call, dude.
Oh, because I had a question for him. But all right.
Well, he started snoring, and I was just like, he keeps falling asleep and snoring, so I just kicked him from the call.
I'll just ask you. Another one. You might get some AA tactics game and a remakes, but AAA JRPG, not going to happen. The market doesn't exist outside of middle-aged man-children.
Come on.
Wait. He's saying the JRPG market doesn't exist.
AAA JRPG.
Okay, so...
Think of like Ni no Kuni.
Right. Doesn't exist?
Right.
He's saying that the market doesn't... Oh, come on. No. What?
AAA JRPG market.
Isn't it huge? Look at Bravely Default. Like, literally everyone I know bought that game.
It's pretty big.
It's not indie. If it's not indie, it's closer to AAA, right? I mean...
It is a big release. It wasn't like a indie game. It's full price release.
I don't know anyone... Who's saying the only demographic is?
Middle-aged man-children.
Middle-aged man-children. Alright, well, congratulations. You are both middle-aged men, children. And
Yeah,
also
it had to
everyone
happen
else,
eventually.
everyone else I know that
I'm getting
likes games to a even small percentage bought that game. I've lost some people to that game. Some good comrades in arms died to that game.
We've got another Titanfall post. I'm convinced that the vast majority of people who post in Titanfall threads don't own Xbox One and don't plan on buying the game, and are in the thread only because they want to see Microsoft fail. It shouldn't come as a surprise that Microsoft is pushing Titanfall so hard. For copies of the game sold equals more positive word of mouth equals more consoles sold. I love to have a discussion about how excited people are and who could possibly attend instead of coming into every thread and seeing the same people bash on Titanfall, people who play it. That's pretty much what the comment is about. So I've actually kind of level-headed comment.
You know, I don't disagree with him. I think a lot of the people that do come into Titanfall threads are just people that want to see the Xbox One fail. And this comes down to the console wars again. Like, I don't understand why you would ever want a console to fail.
Well, you know why? Because the rationale is if you can only have one. That's the rationale. If you can only have one.
Yeah, but why would you stop other people from enjoying a console? Why would you want them to not enjoy a console?
Because people are jealous as bastards.
Because you can't have
fun,
it.
and if they're not having fun, they want everybody to not have fun with them. If they see other people having fun, they get jealous. It's human nature, basically.
People are shitty.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to end this with some Final Fantasy. Got 3 posts here.
All right.
One is in regards to I think Final Fantasy 13.3.
Sure.
The Final Fantasy Final Fantasy 13 trilogy. Three games part thing. Could this be some LGBT lobby bullshit? Like Square Enix is forced to have a strong female character. That might explain all these androgynous characters too. I don't know what's wrong with Square Enix. I'm not a Lightning hater. Yes, you are. But this is getting ridiculous. I'm still baffled that they even made Lightning Returns at this point, considering how badly FF13 was received. Anyway, I voted no. I don't hate Lightning, but 3 games with her is enough.
Wow.
I'm okay with 3 games with Lightning is enough, but that has nothing to do with an LGBT.
I think 1's pushing it.
A lot of people, 13 was their first Final Fantasy. It was almost my first, and then I was like, oh, it's Final Fantasy. But feminism? Like, Square Enix
it has nothing to do with an LGBT agenda. Like, nothing. Nothing about that game.
Like, shit. I think
There's
they just decided...
more to a game than just having a strong female character.
Yeah, look at Bayonetta.
Hell,
look at Bayonetta.
See Season 2.
Huh?
Walking Dead Season 2 has Clementine as a main character.
Yeah, like... that's... wow. I mean, Square Enix can't do... how many Final Fantasy games now? Like...
A lot.
It's
a lot.
15,
I don't really want to count them all out.
A lot.
There's a lot.
At least 20.
Over 20.
Where you play as a dude, except for the games where you choose not to, and you can play as a chick.
So that's like 10-2.
Yeah, 10-2. And I think there's a couple of side games where you can choose your gender, right? Like Chris Chronicles, I think. No,
I guess.
I don't remember.
In Crystal Chronicles, you can choose your gender. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, oh no. So Square Enix can't force you to be a girl in one series.
But I mean,
agenda.
Even in like, okay, so in 13 you had a ton of characters and they were all playable. There was no like main character. And then in 13
was the main character, honestly.
More than the others, but you could pick other characters and have them in your party. You weren't forced into playing Lightning.
No.
And then in 13.2, there were 2 main characters, and one was male, one was female. So there's nothing like forcing there. The logical conclusion of the series was to have the Lightning thing. So that's just what happened. It's not necessarily like a fucking thing, like a problem, like an LGBT thing. It's just...
Alright, verdict is this guy's a dumbass. Let's move on.
I think most people who go on threads are males who are intimidated and or bitter by women.
Maybe.
That
I've met some weird people in my life.
That they've just had bad experiences that they've kind of just fucking warped their mind to believe that all women are bitches and all women are below below men, and that they will try to they now convince themselves to live by that kind of idea.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah. Our second to last post is, the funniest thing is that I was loving every single JRPG during the PS1 PS2 eras. Then I had an epiphany, realizing that most of them were shit, and only Final Fantasy was worth my time. I'm now a fundamentalist of Final Fantasy, and I don't play any JRPGs not named Final Fantasy.
Why?
I'm a more satisfied gamer than before. That's the best part of it.
So,
Why?
I'm going to tell you right now, the Tales of series are better games than Final Fantasy series. Yeah, and he's leaving out probably one of my favorite JRPG series of all time, which is the Valkyrie Profile 1 and 2.
Or fucking Persona.
Thank you, Persona. Oof, almost lost that
Exactly.
one. Almost lost that. Yeah, well, okay, that guy... People like him that keep Final Fantasy 14 alive and kicking.
I guess so. But finally, our final post. From NeoGaf With Love. In regards to Final Fantasy, no, the problem is you. You are one of the enablers buying this shitty, awful game and giving Square Enix undeserved return on investment. You try and downplay two of the best Square Enix games Square Enix has released in years. Try to elevate your Lightning Waifu Simulator out of trash status, despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. The game is not progress. This is a regression. An embarrassing end to a complete clusterfuck of a trilogy that never needed to happen. A travesty to the Final Fantasy brand. You are no Final Fantasy fan. You are a connoisseur of crap. Enjoy your meal.
Okay, first of all, Brian, did you beat Lightning Returns?
No. Don't even have it.
Okay. So never mind. So I want to have this guy talk with the previous guy, just put him in a chat room together and see what happens. Also,
That would be interesting.
what are these two games he speaks of? Or is he talking about...
He doesn't say. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and look for the post.
I'm going to go ahead and assume he means 13 and 13 too.
No, because he said that...
Downplay two of the best games Square Enix has released in years. It could be, I'm going to guess, probably like
Maybe.
in years. It probably could be, what could it be?
Is he just saying that that Lightning Returns is a shitty end to a great start?
No, he said, an embarrassing end to a complete clusterfuck of a trilogy that never needed to happen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so no, he hates the whole lightning shit.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, Square Enix did, Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
They did Bravely Default.
Yeah.
Wait. They did Bravely Default?
Yeah.
So when I said Bravely Default was probably a AAA title, your immediate response wasn't, oh yeah, it's Square Enix.
Hey, I said it was.
Okay. Mike.
So what have we learned today, gentlemen? That NeoGaf hates indie games,
NeoGaf hates everything.
hates and loves Final Fantasy, and consoles wars.
I've learned that people who post on here like to vague tweet or vague post and not tell us what they actually think is a good game before they trash the other games.
Yeah.
But I mean,
That's NeoGaf, you guys.
it's pretty
A
entertaining.
really, really shitty website.
I think the console war people are just the funniest people, and that feminist was pretty funny.
Yeah, that feminist thing was pretty nuts.
Yeah, I think the Ukrainian thing was pretty nuts.
The Ukrainian thing was real. That was,
Yeah, I had to put that in there.
That
I
was
got
crazy.
So, any final comments, you guys? Ruben, we've been Skyping for 5.5 hours.
Oh my god.
I've sat in this chair for 5.5 hours.
Yeah. Wow. I enjoy just talking about stuff. It's actually gone by pretty quickly.
Should do it more often.
Any last words? NeoGaf's funny, and I will never, ever, ever get bored of those posts.
That's why I fucking subscribe to that Twitter.
And I don't know. forward to Dark Souls 2.
Looking forward to getting paid in a week. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Looking forward to
Of which I will buy 3 games and play one of those games and put up 2 games on my table and leave them there.
Which one are you playing? Oh, Titanfall.
Titanfall.
I'm looking forward to Brian getting a job in Arizona so he can come back here and hang out with us. Because drinking nights aren't nearly as fun without you, bro.
Yeah, Brian, you missed story time. You did too, Ruben. You just missed story time when I did story time.
Did you do story time?
I had story time about, this is going to be on the internet. I guess I'll say it out loud.
Oh, God.
About how the first time I had sex was a threesome.
Right, you've mentioned that before.
And the lead up. The build up, the drop.
Alright.
Right.
Well, maybe Twitch will just never hear that. I'm going to upload this to YouTube and then delete it from Twitch.
That could work too.
Well, that's...
Yeah, we need more story time. Ruben, you are next.
Oh, boy. When you get that drunk, I have to crash at your place for the night.
Damn straight.
Okay. Well, that was fun. Again.
That was a long ass night.
Yeah.
My final thoughts is...
I stayed here.
My final thoughts is literally just... Titanfall is a thing.
Ready for Titanfall.
Incoming Titanfall. Jizzing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Pussy whip.
I came.
Alright, well, this is Critical D signing off with our long 2-hour, 21-minute cast.
The 420 Blaze It Cast edition.
Right.
There are only 3 of us left.
Shout
one
out to
was
Matt.
a fetus.
Shout out to Matt's falling asleep like 3 times. He can't deny it. We have audio proof. He fell asleep. He can't deny it.
Yeah, I'll wake him up and I'll say League and he'll be right awake, so whatever.
Right.
We'll play League later.
Alright, well, until next time, 420 Blaze It.
420
God
Blaze
bless.
It.